specialist showcase has begun.
This was terrible. That just sounds like a dumb. I'm sure there's plenty of podcasts. It's so funny.
The following is a fan-off production.
They call me Alice in Wonderland. They try to lure me with a man. Go, oh, what do you know? Is that a rabbit hole? Oh, I gotta see where we go. Go off with my head, fell in love again. You lose your head, you lose your heart, fall apart, fall apart. What's up, all you stars and studs? This is former WWE Diva and current First Lady of Ring of Honor, and I don't know what that grunt was in the background, but it was not me.
I am having trouble breathing. I have pulled a muscle or done something to a muscle in my back, and this week has not been fun for me. So if you hear heavy breathing, or actually I should say more heavy breathing than normal, that's because I can't breathe. Because
nice.
So I get lots of people telling me to stop breathing, but this week I can't help it because I am in lots of pain. And they also made me turn my fan off in my basement, so I will be sweating too. So if you hear gulps of water too, I will sound like a very unpolite human being tonight. And I'm eating yogurt.
That's okay. At least you're here.
I'm
least
here.
You made it.
I made it.
Because you had forgotten.
Totally forgot.
Yeah, you have a tendency to do that.
I was eating dinner and I was fully prepared to lay down on the couch and call it a night.
Uh-huh.
And then you told me that we had a guest tonight, and I went, oh, yeah, that's right. We have something to do tonight. Good thing I didn't lay down on the couch and fall asleep.
Well, that is good. That's nice that you remembered everybody at home and that's listening and downloads every week.
I didn't remember. You had to tell me.
I know. It's nice that you think about those people, though.
I didn't.
I know.
That's my point.
And being facetious. It's
Feces?
my point. No, not feces. That's gross.
That's poop.
That is poop. I'm here with my fiance, Michael Bennett. He's also a Ring of Honor star. And
star.
He's really cool. I like him a lot. I figure I probably should introduce you in case anybody's just joining us for the first time.
Well, they heard me
who's
grunt.
This grunting, yogurt-eating, heavy-breathing man that's on the line with me? I thought they might want to know who you are.
If people were just tuning in and they were just listening to me with my mouth full and my heavy breathing and my grunting, they would probably think I was some creepy caller that just called in to be like, hey, Maria, what's up? I'm eating yogurt thinking about you right now.
I have a question. And maybe you have an answer, maybe you don't have an answer.
Can I smell your feet?
That's gross. That's really gross.
I hurts to laugh.
Your pain makes me laugh. That's not okay.
Is that going to be in your wedding vows?
Maybe. So, okay. Like, I get lots of very strange tweets on the Twitter. And, like, so when these guys are sending out this tweet, like, either showing me their penis, which I know isn't their penis because it's far too big, or showing me, like, other body parts of theirs, or when they want to...
What other body parts would they show you besides their penis? Their butt?
Like their stomach, or, like, their tongue.
Their tongue?
And, yeah, like, so these guys send me these things. What is going on in their mind? What do they think is going to happen?
They're like, yeah, that's what's up. That's what's going on in their mind.
Do they think that I'm all of a sudden going to jump through the internet and be like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted?
Give me that tongue. That's what they think you're going to do.
Like, do they really believe that that is going to be the thing that makes me leave my fiance and go to whoever this guy is?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's not a lot. There's probably not a lot going through the brain of someone who's going to send the picture of their penis via the World Wide Web. So I think there's not a lot going on in their brain.
Yeah,
Either that, or I feel like a lot of them are probably just sitting around with their buddies, and it's those meatheads. That are like, oh, look what I
this
just
will be funny.
Yeah.
Like, what? Then it's out there, folks. Like,
I picture it's like the person that called the podcast that time was like, "Hey Maria, why'd you put your number on Twitter? What's up?" And then he hung up when we laughed at him.
well, I mean, that was
What
pretty
is up?
ridiculous. What?
Hey Maria.
Like, did someone really think I would put my phone number out on Twitter?
That guy did. That's the guy that I picture is just snapping shots of his wiener and sending it to you.
And sometimes it's not even like good wiener shots. It's like pictures when it's like,
It's not like Oscar Mayer quality.
no, it's like limp noodle quality with
Oh no, limp noodle.
some raisins. And I just don't want
Limp
anything
noodle raisins.
with raisins. I just don't want anything to do with that. So please stop sending me pictures of your wieners. Thank you.
Sorry.
I don't really find the male
I'll stop.
body that... Ew, babe. No.
I'm actually taking a picture right now for you.
No. I don't
on, I
want
have to-
that. No.
I have to
I
put a
don't
nice. I gotta
find-
put a nice filter on it. So hold on.
Gross.
Black and
That's-
white. Will that do it?
No, if you send me a picture of your penis, you're not getting anything for like a month.
Hold on. I gotta find a good filter.
Oh my goodness.
What do you
That's
think? What's good?
So nasty.
You
so
want-
nasty.
You want X Pro 2 or how about Sierra? What if I lo-fi it? What do you think? I'm gonna
Lo-fi is always like the go-to one. If you're looking a little old or shabby, you go to lo-fi, and then it's much better.
All right, so that's what I'll do because my wiener's looking a little old and shabby. So I'll give you the lo-fi.
Ew! Why would you do that to me?
I just lo-fied the shit out of my wiener.
No, I don't want that. That's awful. I always think about that as people are sending me stuff, or like, hey, you want to go on a date? What?
Hey,
Like, I would never, ever go on a date with someone that, like, I never met in real life before.
so what you're saying is you would never go on a date with someone who sends you something on Twitter.
No, I met you before, thank you.
Is that what you're saying? What are you saying?
I'm saying I met you before. Like, I met you, and then you started direct messaging me like a creep. But
Whoa, hey.
these other people, they just send me stuff like all of a sudden I'm going to be like, yeah, let's date.
Yeah, send me more wiener shots.
So awful. And then the new problem that I have, because I've now put up my Playboy pictures on my eBay store, which
Shame,
is
shame.
Maria Kanellis Direct. Now my new issue is everybody's wanting to call me names. And
Wow,
everybody
wow.
wants to like say, oh, well, she must not be making any money and oh, blah, blah, blah. Well, folks, I'm moving. 1. For 2, I have a very expensive wedding coming up. So if I want to sell my pictures, I can sell my photos if I want to. Why? Because it's my prerogative. Because I can do it.
My favorite are the people that are like, oh, why are you selling these photos? They do know you've already posed for them. They've been out there for like the last 7 years. They do know this, right? They are aware that these photos have been out there, that this is nothing new.
Well, apparently our guest is trying to call in and is having a tough time.
Oh.
If our producer can resend me the phone number, maybe I have it written down wrong. Maybe that's so strange.
Maybe he doesn't want to call because he doesn't like this wiener talk.
Well, maybe he doesn't like the wiener talk.
Some people are uncomfortable with the wiener talk. Oh, someone's calling.
Someone's calling. I think we have someone.
It's hi guys, it's Dave Gear. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dave Gear. He is a producer. He's also an actor, and he's a club owner. He is also a freshly minted manager in wrestling. Did you like that? Yeah.
I did. Minted. That's nice. That's...
Freshly minted part of the wrestling business as a manager. He goes by the name of DG Haven. And I really like what you do out there. So, and I really want to know how you put the eyeliner on. That's all.
When Mike's in town, when Mike's in town, he usually does it for me. So
That's true. I do.
That's good.
I have practice by putting eyeliner on Maria, so I got this down to a science.
Nice. How are you, Dave?
I'm good. I'm hosting an art show in Hartford, and the mayor of Hartford, Connecticut's side. But I wanted to catch up with you guys, so I figured I'd call in.
Oh, nice. Tell the mayor he can wait. You tell the mayor that he can wait.
Yeah, I'll find out if he's a wrestling fan. He might.
Yeah,
be.
First find out, and then tell him. Hold on, I got Mike and Maria on line one.
There we go.
So, an art show. What kind of art is there that you're hosting?
Well, I started out life before I got into all the other stuff you mentioned as an artist. So one of my bars that I own in Hartford, Connecticut, the capital, right next to the XL Center, you could actually throw a. I know you guys have been there. We could throw a tennis ball and hit the XL Center.
Nice.
It's a bit of an art gallery, so we're just doing like a bourbon and art showing tonight. So it's kind of cool.
Nice. That's really cool. So how long
I have
have you been?
I have a velvet portrait of Mike Bennett.
Ooh.
Unveiled to the world.
Oh, I didn't know this. Is that right when you
Yeah,
walk in?
dude. I painted it the day after I met you, a couple years now. So.
Sweet.
What is this, velvet?
I hope you caught my good side.
Well, we'll see.
There is no good
The
side.
backside.
Yeah.
So, Dave, how did you get involved with wrestling? And I have a million questions for you, but we'll start with the wrestling ones, and then we'll kind of go with the other stuff.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me on the show. I appreciate it. And
Absolutely.
you guys are my friends in the business, so you guys are a huge part of that relationship, and I thank you guys for that. How did I get into wrestling? Well, first of all, I'm a lifetime fan. I was telling Mike on our last shoot that I was big into old school NWA and World Class Championship Wrestling and AWA and of course the WWE product at the time as a kid. So I was way into it, kind of a student of the game. And when I got into film producing, not acting, I'd been acting forever, but film producing, right when I was starting, I was still doing like the video production thing where, I had a little kind of company running around and videotaping corporate stuff or minor projects. And I got a call from a buddy of mine. His name's Eric Danger. He had been involved with Ring of Honor way back in the day with Rob Feinstein, kind of, when it first started, ironically, with you guys on the phone here. And Eric was friends with Diamond Dallas Page. And he said, hey, why don't you get your little team together and jump on an email chain? I'm involved with, I've been asked to produce a couple of DDP yoga sessions. This was early on when Paige was just getting going. So I ended up on an email with Paige, jumped on the phone with him. I was a huge fan of the guy, watching him in the ring. And I went down to Philly and produced a couple of DDP yoga segments way back when he started. And it was at an expo. There was some MMA guys there, like Shoney Carter and a few other guys that were taking the training from DDP. I produced a segment. He was happy with my work, and he asked me what I was kind of doing, and I said, I'm set out to be a film producer, and I'd love to work with you. So actually, within a couple months, I had a project for him called Hard Luck. It was a hitman kind of vengeance noir film, and Daryl McDaniels from Run DMC was in it, and that was like my first film. And DDP introduced me to a lot of other people in the business, and I eventually met Tommy Dreamer. So that's sort of how I started with wrestling.
Have you enjoyed your time so far with wrestling?
I absolutely love it. It's my favorite thing that I'm doing right now. I think I texted you a couple nights back and said check out this footage because I just love it. Everybody's been so great. You guys, like I said, you guys have been a big part of my connection there, and it's kind of the only thing I'm doing right now where I just turn my phone off and go out there and be part of it. I love that I'm at the bottom starting out. I love that there's no production budget hanging over my head or any type of pressure on me. I'm just starting out and doing it, and I absolutely love it, and I'm really excited to be part of it.
So maybe tell everybody at home a little bit about your character and who you've been working with recently.
Cool. Tommy Dreamer called me up the day before House of Hardcore 3, which was originating in Poughkeepsie at the time, and he said, "Hey, and you guys know Tommy, right to the point. Hey, I need a heel manager." And I'm thinking, as a movie producer, he wants me to cast somebody for him. And I'm like, "Cool, who are you looking for?" And he's like, "You." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, I know you're interested, and I think you do a good job. Call me back with an idea. It's tomorrow." And I was going to go to the show. I always go to his shows as a fan, as a friend. And I was like, nervous. I'm like, what is he like? Tommy, like, it's so to the point that I wasn't sure if he really meant it. So I thought about it for like an hour, and I was like, is he serious? Because as you guys know, having been part of it, House of Hardcore is a pretty big deal in the wrestling world, and I hadn't even been in a wrestling ring, and I'm just being honest, and I hadn't even been really backstage. I knew a lot about the sport, of course, but with the respect I have for the business, I was nervous for that, and also wondering, why me? Tommy, of course, had been in a series of films that I produced that Maria was a part of, and now Mike, you're a part of, with the Woodhaven production company, and so I was thinking, is he for real? So he wanted me to pitch him an idea to lock it in for the next day, and I was nervous. I was kind of texting my wrestling buddies, like, what the heck do I do? I know it's supposed to be a bad guy. So I came up with David Nation. That was my idea in the course of an hour. And I called Tommy up, and I said, dude, I don't want to bug you too much, but I got something. He's like, what is it? And I'm like, David Nation. And he's like, I hate that. Like, call me back. So
there's only Tommy can.
So I called him back, and I came up with David Woodhaven, which obviously is connected to the Woodhaven production company. He said, it's okay, I like DG Haven. So Tommy came up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course he did.
And what kind of manager are you? Do you get involved a lot? Are you there as more of a cheerleader? What would your style be like? Or who do you like to idolize while you're out there?
Well, I really spent a lot of time thinking about it. I think I know I talked to you guys about it. Certainly Tommy was a big influence. I tried to talk to DDP about it, but he sort of laughs it off. I don't think he knows how serious I am yet. Although I sent him the video of the bump I took last week, so he's in
that was
Mexico
a
right
sick
now.
bump. That was a really good bump.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate that coming from you. But I think he's retro. He's kind of old school. I wear all black. I'm a little sinister. I'm a little bit of a kind of a snaky character out there, a little weaselly, but sort of fired up and angry at times. I'm currently managing Vic Delicious. That we just kind of started together. Dreamers had me with Carlito. I've worked with some indie guys that are involved in House of Hardcore. King Dan's is one of them, one of Tommy's guys. And, I started off kind of doing the cheerleading thing, and, like you just mentioned, I got more involved in the action as of late, and I've been working with Matt Stryker on some of that, in-ring stuff, and just taking a little step each night out, and but taking it real serious and trying to cultivate it to work.
Did you ever? Was it always being a wrestling manager for you, or did you ever have dreams of actually being a wrestler and getting in the ring? Or we had Todd Sinclair on last week, who was the ref for Ring of Honor, and we asked him,
Right.
and he was adamant that he always just wanted to be a referee, nothing else. He just loved the refs. What was it for you? Was it always? I mean, I know you kind of everything kind of fell into place for you as far as getting into wrestling, but maybe the question I should ask is, would you ever want to actually wrestle, or is it always just kind of managing for you?
You know what, man? I mean, like everybody else, and I've heard you talk about this, Mike. I mean, I was flying around my sofa when I was 10 years old.
Right.
You know, wanting to be a wrestler, of course. I still think about it a little bit. I'm half your size, so I think I fall into a timekeeper or bell ringer category, maybe. Look, man, I don't think I'll be, having the balls to say I want to wrestle anytime soon, although it's crossed my mind the last few weeks as I've gotten more involved. But, I'm really happy doing the DG Haven manager thing and getting physical at times and drawing heat and things like that. So right now I'm, looking to stay where I am. But you know what, man, I never say never. I didn't think a year ago I would be doing any of it. So
right.
Who knows?
Mm-hmm. So you also are producing a lot of films right now, and you're very successful with that. So how does this compare where you're at the top of your game when it comes to producing and then being in a wrestling locker room where you're just starting out? Are you nervous? Are you, do you ever feel intimidated being backstage at the different shows?
I definitely was at the beginning, and there are certain shows that, when I met up with you guys, and by the way, thank you for being like super great to me and Julie Dawson, who was there doing a valet a gimmick at House of Hardcore. I think that was 5 in San Diego. That was an intimidating show for me. You guys were there, Piper, Flair, Goldberg, and Terry Funk and the Gods of Wrestling. It was a big show, and of course, I mean, I'm starting out. I don't know all the etiquette, although I try to be super respectful, and I'm picking up on everything. And as a manager, people wonder, is he trained or is he just an actor? So it is intimidating, but Tommy and you guys and I actually know Goldust pretty well, and Matt Hardy. Mm-hmm. Everyone's been embracing it and giving me their kind of keys to success and what to do, what not to do, and spread the word that I'm also a producer that helps wrestlers such as yourselves, kind of live their other careers as actors if they so choose. And I think that word has earned me, a little bit of respect or at least interest from the other wrestlers, so that helps. So, the first night, House Hardcore 3, the first one I was on, super intimidated. Sandman scares the shit out of me, for sure. Still, he has no idea who I am, and I managed C.W. Anderson in House Hardcore 4, and Dreamer said, "Get out of the ring when Sandman's music hits, both you guys." And CW did not do that, and I was still in character, kind of by his side, and dude, Hack got through that crowd faster than I'd ever seen, and he was swinging that kendo stick, and I was trying to stay in it, but I got, I'll be honest with you, I was nervous. So yeah, there's, your sport is intimidating because there's so many personalities and there's so many unforetold things that can happen, and the backstage stuff is can be remarkable and crazy and interesting and bizarre all in one. So yeah, it's an intimidating business, and I tip my hat to anyone who's done it or made it to your both of your level, because it's super tough and it is intimidating.
Well, I always think that you do such a great job of being extremely respectful, and I've always admired the fact that you want to get more wrestlers into acting and help them out with this other dream. Why do you think that wrestling and acting go so hand in hand?
Well, I'll answer that in two parts, because I want to answer that specific to you guys, because you guys have been fantastic in the projects that you've both been involved in. So to start in general, wrestlers or wrestling personalities have to be on, and they have to be on live, and there's no room for error. And typically a good wrestler or someone that's great on the mic is so dialed in, they don't have any room for error, and they're not making mistakes on the microphones. They can't. So that means when you're on a movie set, you don't need another take. You're typically dialed in, and I found that to be true of every wrestler I've worked with. The second part of that is I just believe in the business, and I'm a fan of the business, even though I'm now involved in it. And I think there's an extended world of opportunity for wrestlers who are attractive or interesting or unique or crazy looking or creepy looking or sexy or tough looking in the world of film. It's proven time and again. It started with Piper and Hogan and Andre, and it's matriculated to The Rock and DDP and Goldberg and you guys and Dreamer. So it just makes a lot of sense. And with respect to you guys are both really good. Maria, you're amazing on camera. You've always delivered. And Mike's been doing a couple projects with Woodhaven and right on point and looks great on camera. So, at the end of the day, I enjoy helping wrestlers get into film, but I also like to handpick ones that I know are going to be stars like you guys. So it makes a lot of sense.
What would you, like, for example, at the last set we were on, you started giving me a bunch of, like, little critiques and information on what I should do as an actor and different little things. They weren't anything crazy, but what would you tell to any wrestlers who might be listening? Because I feel like there's a lot of probably indie wrestlers or that are interested in getting into acting.
Sure.
And having done both fields and actually casted wrestlers like myself and Maria and Dreamer and like you said, Stryker and DDP and all these guys, like what would you give to guys who haven't had the opportunity to cross over yet, who actually want to? What would be some advice that you would give them? Because it is as similar as wrestling is to acting. It is a lot different too. So what do you think? What's the best advice you could probably give to them?
The first thing I would say to them to do would be get a professional acting headshot that's not a wrestling promo. Mm-hmm. We want to see you. I'd love to see the wrestler as, looking like an actor in terms of what they might look like in a character role that's, away from being, Super Destroyer 15 or whatever,
right.
It might be. So a professional acting photo that's as authentic and real to the person, not necessarily to the wrestler, especially for the indie guys that are, that might not be world famous. The Big Show's got to be the Big Show in the movie because he's so well established and known for his look. But somebody on the indie scene that's maybe not as famous can be that person as an actor. So a great headshot or just any headshot that can be spread out to different casting and directors and producers. Secondly, study the careers of wrestlers that are good actors. Piper, Paige, you guys, Dreamer is just listed among the top 10 wrestlers turned actors ever, which is incredible. I think he tweeted it to you guys a couple months ago. Study their careers, see how the translation from, Piper's the perfect example. He acted his balls off in They Live, but he also had one of the most iconic fight scenes in the history of cinema. That's because he's a wrestler. So find that middle ground. Where are you able to go as an actor, but what can you keep true to your skill as a wrestler in the realm of cinema? So I think, trying to find who you are as an actor with your wrestling toolkit well in mind. Mike, we use you in all physical stuff. You did a fight scene, 2 weeks ago because we know you can fight on camera. So you're bringing that to the table as an actor. That's where I would say to start. Now, the second part of that is the mechanics of now being an actor, going to auditions, and all that. I think wrestlers could network within their circles. I think there's probably people listening that could email your show and say, hey, who are you guys working with, and how do I get in touch with David or whatever. So I think you got to network within the industry with regard to people that are out there acting.
Right.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I find it interesting going into the film world because when I first came out of WWE, my character in WWE was so ditzy and so just happy and very girly girl. And then as soon as I came out of that character, every role I got was a demon or a devil or a bad guy or a this or I just find it so extremely interesting that I was cast so different outside of wrestling than I was when I was at WWE. Or maybe it's just that I wanted the challenge of it, and maybe that's why I just did better in those roles and ended up getting cast in them. But it's really interesting to me because it really was completely opposite of what I was in WWE.
Well, I think that's maybe coincidence, but I think it's partly because you're one of those people that could really play any role. You could be sexy, you could be powerful, you could be strong, you could be evil and kind of, like you said, demonic, with the hair and the eyes and everything else. So you're the total package, as an actress. So I think, you will get, I know you'll get cast in just about the gamut of every role. So that might be just kind of coincidental. But, I think, maybe also people want to see wrestlers not be their personas on camera in movies because it can kind of, open the viewer up to saying, hey, wow, Maria did something different there. I expected to see, a wrestling diva, but I saw somebody that was playing possessed or somebody being, so it's probably just, the director of those projects trying to do something different.
Yeah, for sure. So what is next for you? What is your next project? What do you have coming down the pike?
Well, as you guys know, because you guys are the two top players in this, the actor turned director Nick Principe, who's most famous for playing Chrome Skull in the horror films, Chrome Skull. We're doing a series of short film anthologies together. You guys are starring in all of them. We're getting ready to do our third one, which is coming up hopefully in the next month before the wedding. Called Nick's got this one called Shadow Play. So that's we're doing these horror shorts that you guys are heavily involved in, and we hope to leverage those to the film festival world and some type of limited distribution deal. And then there's a new Woodhaven project coming up. The director Tommy DiNucci, that you guys know very well, my partner at Woodhaven Films. We have a meeting tomorrow night to set up the next film. So that's on the horizon for probably late 2014. Chad Verdi, my producing partner, Maria, you know him pretty well. We're heading into a massive project that Martin Scorsese's executive producing called Bleed for this, which will be in November. And then I'm newly involved with a production company in Los Angeles called the Switzer Entertainment Group, and we just wrapped our last film called School's Out, which was a teen sex comedy in the vein of American Pie. So, super busy. Project
You are a wild man. You are absolutely crazy. And then how many clubs do you have? Do you have one club or two?
I have 3 in Connecticut.
Oh, my goodness.
I have 3 clubs in Connecticut. So,
Gee, mini Christmas. Well, name your clubs off so anybody can come and see and go to your clubs.
Well, I'm sitting in the parking lot of what's called the Electric Company in downtown Hartford. It's in a historic part of downtown Hartford on Allen Street. My big nightclub, sort of dance club, is called Reserve in Meriden, Connecticut. Meriden's a big wrestling town. I'm sure you guys have been there in your day.
Oh, yeah.
And then even a bigger wrestling town, Danbury, Connecticut, is my restaurant called Blue.
My goodness. I don't know how you keep track of everything.
I have been to
now that I'm involved in wrestling, I'm my head's spinning a little bit, literally. So I woke. I don't know how you guys do it. I woke up very sore on Sunday morning.
You never get used to it, so it never feels good or it never feels better. So it's always. But
you always go back. Like me and Mike were just talking about this. You don't feel it when you're doing it. You don't feel the bump. You don't feel how sore you are that night. But then later, you feel like crap, and then you still go back for more. Like, you don't stop. Most people would be like, okay, that hurt, so I'm not going to do that again. No, we go back for more.
It doesn't...
Well, you know what? You guys, a billion times more than me, and much respect for that. I'm just starting out. But, absolutely. It kind of, the conversation with Vic, Delicious, and myself was, hey, maybe that's your signature bump into the guardrail. And I said, oh, sure. And now I'm thinking to myself, wow, so I'm going to have to do that again, so...
you have to do it over and over
I don't
again.
know, but... it was pretty cool.
Oh,
It was pretty cool to do it. So.
Well, it was an awesome bump, and it was very nice talking to you. I'll let you get back. But tell
Get the mayor on
everybody.
hold.
I know, the mayor. But
Send the mayor our regards.
tell everybody
I will.
your Twitter, your Instagram, how people can get in touch with you or follow your career, your Facebook, all of that stuff.
Cool. David Gear on Facebook. It's GERE. That's kind of where I'm most available. Twitter, David_Gear, GERE. If anybody's out there that is involved in wrestling and wants a little more kind of assistance or a conversation about breaking into the movie world, I'd be happy to take emails from your listeners or your peers. And it's David Gear, GERE, at rocketmail.com. So that's kind of how you can get in touch with me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and I will see you soon. And I promise this time when I'm in town, I'm either going to your restaurant, going to your club, or doing something.
Well, I appreciate that. Drinks and dinner on me when you guys are in Connecticut, and I appreciate you guys having me call in, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care, guys. Bye.
If he is not the most humble man,
Yeah, he's great.
He's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
He's helped me out as far as the crossover from, I would say, him and Tommy DiNucci. They've helped me out so much because I had no clue what I was doing when I was on the set of Almost Mercy, and then, being on the set of Penance. They've helped me out so much. It's just nice to actually have people who can walk you through and being like, hey, we've worked with wrestlers before, so this is what you do well, so let's highlight it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you've been in 3 films now.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And each one you get a little bit more comfortable. And it's, I felt like the last one I did, I was really, really, truly comfortable and was having fun with it. Where, I had a ton of fun on the set of Almost Mercy, but I was nervous. I wanted to impress. I wanted to be good. And I wanted to show people that I'm not just this, this Neanderthal that wears tights, that I have some chops, And it's funny because, at one point, we were filming part of the scene, and I play this crooked cop, and the lead actress, after 2 or 3 takes, she goes, you make it really easy because you just look like an asshole in this scene. I was like, oh, thanks. But she was like, no, that's a compliment. That's a good thing. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Thanks. But no, it was actually really nice. And it, helped me feel a little bit more comfortable, and then, get to my big scenes. So it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. I think that actors and wrestlers, I think it's a nice pairing just because we are so used to having that crowd. So we know what works and what doesn't on a crowd. Mm-hmm. And if we can kind of take a little piece of that and put that into the film work and put it into acting, I think it helps so much. Because as an actor, the only time you know what that reaction is when you're actually sitting there. I mean, I know for me, when I did Army of the Damned, I'm trying to put the two of them together.
You'll figure it out. You'll get there.
Army of the Damned, I was nervous about how people would react to my one line that I had. And when they giggled, I was like, yes!
Right.
But it took months to get there. I literally was on the edge of my seat for months to know how these fans would react to one line. And as a wrestler, it's instantaneous. You know right away if it worked, if it didn't, and then you can change it up. But in a film, it's out there. You have that one moment. In the ring, if it wasn't working, you switch it and then you make it work. And it was really for me, that was really crazy. And then go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say I've had this conversation with you, and I was actually talking to Matt Taven about it after when I was driving him home the other day after the Ring of Honor shows, and we were talking about acting and making that transformation, and I was telling him how my my respect and admiration for actors after being on the set of Almost Mercy went up dramatically, because it's very much like wrestling where it's hurry up and wait. But like I've said to you and I said to him, in wrestling we hurry up and wait, but once we go out, there's a crowd of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people that you can feed off of and get into your character. When you're an actor, there's nothing to feed off of. There's no crowd. You just have to be on. You have to be in that character right when they say action. And it's like, and then Taven said, he was like, well, that, I guess I see why actors just stay in character for so long. And you see why guys just don't come out of it. And once they're done with the scene, they go back to their trailer so they can just be in that character. And if they're playing a psychotic killer, you don't want to have a psychotic killer walking around the movie set. So yeah, put them back in their trailer, let them stay a psychotic killer because it's so difficult to hurry up, wait for 12 hours and then be like, all right, here's your one scene of the day. And you have to be that psychotic killer that you were for all day yesterday, all day the day before that, all day the day before that. And now you only have an hour of shooting today, but you got to wait 12 hours, then shoot and still be on point. And we are lucky enough as wrestlers that we have a crowd that can get you fired up or throw things at you or cheer you so you can feel like the good guy or boo you so you can feel like the bad guy or chant your slogan or boo your move or cheer your move. So it's like my admiration for acting after being on set and doing these things just kind of – it really just like I watched some of the people, the lead actor and the lead actress and the guy who played the principal and like even guys like David Gear and Tommy DeNucci, they're so talented and like I would just pick up from what they were doing and be like, man, like I want to be on point like that. When they say action, I want to be able to just get right into that character like that.
Yeah, and I mean, some famous actors can't just get in and get out of characters. There's been times where, you know, they'll get into a character and they'll be stuck there. Like they'll have to go to therapy to get out of that character. Or they'll train for months and months to get into that character because it's such an abstract thing that they can't find on their own. For me personally, those outside of the box characters are so much more interesting than playing the funny girl or playing the ditz or playing the drunk or playing for me, that isn't as interesting as a actor as if I had to go way out there into the other side of the universe and like really get into something. And I like that challenge so much. I love looking at a script and being like, geez, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but finding a way to get there is just such an interesting process. And I've only had to do it for a few things and like, you know, and some of them were just like testing something, or it would be a table reading, which is when a bunch of actors sit around and they read at a table for producers and to see if we can get this film picked up. But doing those type of things is just, it's so cool to get that involved into a character and like build this story. And that's what my acting coach out in Los Angeles used to tell me is, you won't always get the whole story. So you have to invent a story that gets you as a person there, not necessarily you as the character there. Right. So if you as the person need to think that I went through this traumatic event because of this, that's fine, because you won't necessarily say it in your character. But if you have this invented story in your head, it helps you stay in that character. And I always took that advice from her. And like, I always think about that. Like, have a backstory in acting. Don't take a character at face value, if that's what works for you. Because acting like wrestling, you can learn a million different ways, but you have to find out which way works for you. And for me, I like method, and I like to have a whole story created. That Penance, which was a short film, in my head, I had an entire life. Like, my whole life, I know what she did the day before. I know what she had for breakfast. I know where she was walking from. Like, I need to create that whole story in order for it to be a real character for me. But not everybody works that way.
Well, I think in a sense that's where wrestling comes into play too, because I think almost to be a good wrestler and to be able to portray your character as a wrestler, you almost have to be a method actor because you have to believe what you're portraying, and you have to believe. It's like you used to say to me when I was doing The Prodigy, how would The Prodigy react to this? What did The Prodigy do on his way here? Not what did Mike Bennett do on the way here, but what did The Prodigy do on the way here? What did he do? What did he have for breakfast? What did he have for lunch? How would he react if Jim Cornette said this to him? How would he react if Kevin Kelly said this to him? How would he react if Michael Elgin swung a clothesline? You know what I mean? Like, it's how would he react? And I remember that was one of the things that you said to me that always stuck in my head, is you said that a lot of the top guys, like 20, 30 minutes, sometimes an hour before they had to go out there, they were already in character. They were there. Mm-hmm. They were ready to go, and they were that person. So when they went through the curtain, it was go time, and that always stuck in my head. And now, before I go out to the ring, I think that an hour before, I'm slowly trying to put myself into this person. I'm trying to become Michael Bennett, the asshole piece of shit in Ring of Honor that nobody likes. I'm trying to be the leader of this kingdom. I'm trying to be the little brother of Matt Hardy, the best friend of Adam Cole, the obnoxious fiance to Maria Kanellis. Like that's just how I'm trying to put myself. I'm trying to get out of this realm of playing, being nice Michael Bennett, and start being mean Michael Bennett.
Speaking of Ring of Honor, I'm now the Iconic Champion, just so you know.
You totally are. There's pictures online of it. They're amazing.
They are amazing. I am the Iconic Champion. I don't think ever in the history of Ring of Honor there has been a female Iconic Champion. Probably because there's only been 2 Iconic Champions, but me being the second and being a female, maybe this will be the first title that it really doesn't matter if you're male or female. All that matters is if you're good.
How many female champions have there been in Ring of Honor total?
Ooh.
Who knows?
I think that it's going to be very interesting carrying that belt around for a while.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
Are you excited about it? Are you going to defend it? What are you going to do with it? What's going to happen?
Well, I shouldn't have to defend it as of right now. I mean, no one can really compete with me at this moment. So no. I think that I'm going to show it off for a while.
Yeah, and you should hold on to it in Matt's honor for a while.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And, it's very symbolic. It's like a cross to me,
right.
And
he gave it to you, so.
He did. He gave it to me. So I need to hold on to it. I felt very blessed after that evening, actually. And I will feel blessed moving forward in Ring of Honor, of course, because that was where it all took place. It's like holy ground now, to be honest with you.
Well, that belt is the holy grail of professional wrestling, so.
It's most definitely the holy grail. You know what the holy grail was, right?
What was it?
The holy grail was a woman.
It was a movie.
Well, it was a movie as well, but the holy grail is a female.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
No!
It was.
No,
it was.
Holy Grail was a female.
Do you have proof of this?
Well, Jesus' bloodline.
What does Jesus know?
Who's he
ever been?
I got a question for you. What do you think of all these guys starting wrestling schools? Did you hear Seth Rollins has a wrestling school now? It's called Black and the Brave Training.
He's opened his own wrestling school?
He is!
Really?
In Illinois.
Good for him.
I know. What do you think about all these wrestlers opening schools?
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, if you can, own a business, expand outside of your WWE career, and they'll let you, and you're allowed, I think it's a great idea. It's always good to have another source of income or something where you can say, oh, I'm going to take the money I make of this and just put it aside, because we all know wrestling doesn't last forever, and nor will it last forever. And if you think it'll last forever, then you'll just find yourself to be 60 years old in the gymnasium full of 50 people. So it doesn't last forever, and I think it's great that these guys are allowed to do it. And, you know, there's really no better school to go to than someone who's made it to WWE and has seen success. So you can't really go wrong with that. There's far too many schools of guys who've done absolutely jack shit and don't know what they're talking about. So it's actually nice to see schools of guys who actually can teach you the right way.
Yeah, I mean, Santino has a school, and then...
Well, Santino's is like a mix, isn't it? Santino teaches
I think so, yeah.
MMA and stuff like that, so I think that's kind of cool. I'm sure Seth Rollins will probably... He's a big CrossFit guy, so I'm sure he'll probably incorporate maybe like a wrestling CrossFit type school, you know, which I think would be a great idea. So... Yeah, no, and Kurt Hawkins, before he got released, had actually opened up a school with Pat Buck, who I think you know Pat Buck from OVW.
I do.
So, yeah. You sound incredibly muffled right now. I don't know if that's me or...
You sound incredibly muffled as well.
Well, I hope it's not coming across that way to our 7,000 million viewers, listeners. So, okay, it isn't good. So it's just...
It isn't. We're good. So it's just us.
It's just between me and you. We're just muffled.
Yeah, you're just swimming, what you like to do when you're on the phone with me. So maybe you're crossing that over.
It's because I had to turn my fan off, so...
Oh, my goodness. The sweaty man syndrome. Oh, my goodness.
So I decided to go
TNA is back to 6 sides. What do you think of that?
I don't really have an opinion. I guess it is what it is. I think it should have been up to the wrestlers. It wasn't. They have to take the bumps. I think whatever. It is what it is. It's a 6-sided ring. If that's what's going to make or break them, then they're in for a lot of trouble. I don't think a 6-sided ring's going to do anything. It's 6-sided. Big deal. Who cares? I wrestled in it before. It's weird. I wouldn't want to wrestle in it, but no, I hope it if it increases viewership and they make a ton of money, good. I hope so. I have a lot of friends over there that I want to see make a lot of money. So, I mean, really, I don't have an opinion on it because it's a ring and it's the product that goes in the ring that really matters. So, whatever. It's a 6-sided ring, and if that helps my friends make money, then more power to them.
And Santino retired, and I just want to wish him all the best luck in the world. He is an amazing man, and I haven't said anything about it yet, but he was great to me, and enjoy your retirement, Santino.
You know what I think is funny is I don't think people realize how much of a void that leaves with WWE. Like, for a long time, WWE always has a comedy guy. Who's their comedy guy now? Who's their go-to comedy guy? Like, Santino was their comedy guy for so long. And I think any good company needs a comedy guy. Like, we have R.D. Evans. He's our comedy guy. He's our go-to.
Or Bobby Fish.
Yeah, but not really. Like, Bobby Fish is funny, but he's not our comedy guy, Yeah, like,
okay.
R.D. Evans is our comedy guy, and Santino was their comedy guy. You know what I mean? Like, you have a go-to guy that strictly does comedy stuff, and that was Santino, and I think that you need that for any great wrestling company and for a great show. So I think this shouldn't be downplayed like, oh, it's just Santino. I think he was a pivotal role for that company, and he was always on point.
He was. He always made me laugh. I had to be careful when I was out there with him. I had to pretend like I didn't really understand what he was saying in order to convince myself that I did not need to laugh at whatever he was saying. He was amazing to work with. I only have great things to say about him. So did you hear about Kurt Angle saying that he wants to finish out his career at WWE?
Really?
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
I believe it was on JR's podcast. Maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, he said that he loves helping TNA out, but he'd like to finish his career in WWE. Do you think that would ever be possible for him to go back?
Yeah, of course. Anything's possible. I could
Well,
see him
this is
finishing
true.
out there. But you know what I find funny is he's probably been at TNA longer than he was at WWE.
Yeah.
So it's kind of strange. But I mean, WWE put him on the map. WWE is his home. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
TNA's not his home. TNA's nobody's home right now. Hasn't been around long enough. WWE is Kurt Angle's home, and he started there. He started in their development system. He was trained by the late great Steve Bradley, who helped train me, and that's his home. So I think definitely he'll go back at some point. Maybe not to wrestle, maybe to go back just to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's healthy enough to wrestle. I think the dude is a fucking horse, and he doesn't go half-assed. So I have a hard time believing that if he can't go balls to the wall, that he'll even want to step foot in a WWE ring. And if he does, it'll be for one more match, and he'll pretty much put his life on the line. That's the kind of guy, the workhorse that he is. Like, he's awesome. I couldn't think of I have so much respect, and I watch so many Kurt Angle matches, and you feel like a special bond because the guy who trained him also trained me. So it's like you just have this special kind of connection that you can't explain, but it's only in wrestling. And so I've always had a special place in my heart for Kurt because I think he's incredibly awesome. He's one of those guys that just has laid it all. Talk about sacrificing his entire life for professional wrestling. You can't not just admire that guy and respect him. Mm-hmm. And I hate people that shit talk him because he had his demons or he had his problems. Like, wrestling fans can be so fickle and so selfish and so mean to guys that have literally destroyed their lives so they could entertain you fans that are criticizing them or insulting them. Like, how can you be so heartless to a guy who's put on arguably some of the greatest matches of my lifetime? I mean, that match he had with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania is arguably one of the greatest matches of all time. Not just WrestleMania, but of all time. And to sit here and criticize a guy because he has his demons or he has his problems, like, you know, those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Like, and to criticize a guy because of that, I don't know. It blows my mind.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. And then, last but not least, Sting is back.
Well, kinda.
Did you know that I actually wrestled Kurt? Did you know that?
I did know that you wrestled Kurt. Did you
did.
win?
No, I lost terribly.
Oh,
he
no.
was the fastest person I've ever been in the ring with.
That's not
the
true.
fastest.
I'm the fastest man alive.
No, you're not.
No, I am. I could beat you in a race.
Oh my God! Are we on this again? You're like the guy from Modern Family. Me, who runs 3 miles every other day. You,
I don't need to run.
Doesn't run at all and is very top heavy, wants to race me. Really?
What do you mean I'm top heavy?
Have you seen your shoulders?
What about my shoulders?
Oh my God. That's where I would say 80% of your weight is in your shoulders and in your arms.
That just means I'm more aerodynamic and the wind will be against my back and push me faster than you.
That is not what it means at all.
Yep. No, that's what it means.
No.
I could beat you in a race.
Okay, do you want to put money on it?
Yep.
All right. So this week at, what is it? We're in Dearborn?
Yeah, but I can't do it this week. I have too many matches going on. So next time.
You wimp.
I'm just saying. I want to be at my best. And it's not fair because you're not wrestling, but I am. So it would be an unfair
so we'll do
advantage.
it before the wrestling match.
I gotta fly too, which wouldn't be
and so
fair.
do I. I have to fly as well.
Yeah, but you have a shorter flight. I gotta fly from Boston to Chicago, and then Chicago to Cincy. You only have to go Chicago to Cincy, so you already have a leg up. So that's not fair.
And I have to drive 2 hours in the morning. You only have to drive 1, so it's even. And I think that you're just trying to get out of it. So
no. Why would
Friday, before the show, in front of the building,
Friday.
I challenge you to a race.
We'll see. Maybe that
From
week.
one
Maybe the week
end
after.
of the parking lot to the other.
We'll see. Is this official? Will there be official measurements and timing?
Yeah, I think so. I think I can get Todd to do it for us.
We'll see.
No, we'll see.
You just want to do this weekend because you'll have an unfair advantage, which is fine. If you want to race unfairly, then let's do it. But I mean,
How is it unfair?
I just like to race fair. I'm just
Because
about fairness and
you
equality.
whine more than me, so that makes it unfair
No,
for my ears.
I'm just quicker, and you just need a leg up. It's okay.
You are not fast at all.
I am in the bedroom.
I don't think you should tell people that.
It came out. I was trying to get a point across. It slipped.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Whoops.
Sure.
Can we edit that?
No, we're leaving it in there.
Do we have a beep? Can you beep? Like a
No.
sensor? Do you have...
No, it's staying in there because you're ridiculous.
You're ridiculous.
And I'm totally going to beat you in a race.
Well, we'll see.
And if you don't want to do it this week because you're going to be too tired, I'm a big tough wrestling man, except when I have to race my girlfriend because I just want to give her a hard time all the time.
That's an amazing impersonation of me. You should do that at Vegas.
That's an amazing impersonation of me. I sound kind of like Tommy Dreamer when I talk like this. This is my annoyed voice. This is what I talk like.
You sound just like me. Oh my god. I can't believe how much you sound like me.
Whatever.
Whatever, dude. I'm faster.
So, no! Pokemon. That is your nickname. Or the snail. Or the turtle. Or the slow monkey.
No such thing as a slow monkey.
Well, a sloth kind of looks like a monkey.
It's not a monkey, though. You referring to me as a sloth now? Wow.
Possibly. So I'm really excited because I think I have a really great guest next week, but I'm not going to announce him just in case.
What is it?
No, I'm not telling. I'm not telling because you won't race me. Well, after you race me and you beat me, then I will tell you. But if you don't beat me, you don't get to know.
Will you please stop saying I beat you? That's just... Please stop that. Please stop. Steve, please stop referencing me and beating you. I don't like this. It's making me very uncomfortable. I'm already sweating from my lack of fan. I don't need the police at my door.
He beats me.
Stop it. We're just talking about how fast I am.
No, we're talking about how much you beat me. So come back next week on fanoff.com/thesoundoff. Listen to our friends over on RBR because we like them lots.
We love them, actually.
We love them.
Love them so much.
Love's a strong word.
We're going to have relations with them. Podcast relations.
And then you're going to beat them.
Like a good boyfriend should.
That's terrible.
We just lost viewers. It's cool.
We don't have any viewers. We have downloaders or listeners. So you can follow me on Twitter, and that's Maria L. Kanellis. You can also follow me on Facebook at official Maria Kanellis. And on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram because my Instagram following kind of sucks. And that's Maria Kanellis. Or you can go to my eBay store so you can say insulting things to me, or buy a photo because there's lots of really cool photos on there. And that's
if you're gonna say insulting things, at least say insulting things and then buy a photo. It makes the pain a little bit easier. Because
then once you do that, then I
heals the wound.
Mike and I really want to buy a TV for our new place, so you could buy photos, which will then pay for our TV to our first place together, which would make you feel good about yourself, I'm sure. Yeah. What else? You can buy my T-shirts on ProWrestlingTees.com. And next week, I plan on telling you all about them, but I haven't received a new thing from them in order to tell you all about them. But you can get all the Bullet Club stuff on the ProWrestlingTees.com.
Which is awesome.
Which is awesome. And
Their
I'm really
t-shirts
hoping...
are awesome.
Oh, I know. So
cool.
And I'm really hoping that they come out with the Rugrats t-shirt before Steen leaves everybody.
That's Mount Rushmore. That's not Bullet Club.
I know, but before Steen leaves, I'd really like them to come out with the Rugrats shirt.
You just want one, that's all.
Yeah, of course. It's completely selfish. And I can't talk about this weekend because I'm completely sad and I may never recover after this weekend, just so you know.
Well, you won't be there, will you?
Not on Saturday, no. I'll be there on Friday.
Okay.
Friday.
Gotta get down on Friday. So if you want, where can people find naked pictures that I can sell?
Well,
follow
you just sent me some.
If you want naked pictures of me, follow my Instagram at the real Mike Bennett.
The real Mike Bennett's penis?
That's not funny. And then follow me on Facebook and become my close personal friend. Find Mike Bennett. We will be friends. I have probably over 300 friend requests that I have to get to that I haven't accepted. So maybe don't follow me on Facebook.
You need a fan page.
And then on Twitter, follow me on the Twitter at Real Mike Bennett. So Instagram's The Real Mike Bennett. Twitter is Real Mike Bennett. Instagram, the. Twitter, no the. That's one the, one no the. That's for all my Seinfeld nerds. That's one tuck.
So confused.
One no tuck. Any Seinfeld. I know my buddy Andy Gresh is a big Seinfeld fan, so that's one tuck, one no tuck. Whoop. You didn't hear that. So, do that. And then make sure you pay attention to Ring of Honor and New Japan coming up soon. I'll be taking my ass over to Japan, where I plan on going to Ribera Steakhouse. What? So, I'm in rare form tonight.
Weird tangents going
on. I'm sweating. I'm hallucinating. The ESPYs are on. I'm sitting in a bed in the basement, sweating my ass off because I had to turn my fan on. My mom's walking up the stairs. She's going to bed. Dogs are running around. Cats and dogs living together. I can't handle it. And by mom, I mean roommate.
Yeah, sure you do.
My roommate
thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Peace.
Off with my head, I fell in love again. Off with my head, I fell in love again. You lose your head, you lose your heart. Off with my head, I fell in love again. Off with my head, I fell in love again. You lose your head, you lose your heart. Fall apart.
This has been a production of fanoff.com.
And that's perfect.